If you want to start shooting and reading spawns like a pro player, then watch this video because today we're going over 5 tips that pros definitely don't want you to know. My name is Alyus and I've been a full-time Call of Duty coach for the last 4 years, and if you're interested in coaching, check it out in the description below. We're going to start with 2 aiming tips, move on to 2 spawn tips, and then the 5th and final tip pros definitely don't want you to know. For the first tip, we're going to talk about centering, which everyone knows this is aiming where you expect enemies to be, but specifically, let's break it down into 3 types of gunfights. The first one, a 60-40, the second one, a 50-50, and then the third one, a 40-60. A 60-40 gunfight is when you're on defense and the enemies, they have to make a move and you don't. So after planting the bomb, playing defense on S&D, holding control of the hard point, this is all 60-40 gunfights because you just have to hold the pre-aim and the enemies have to push you. So when you look at your minimap and you realize that there's only a few directions we can get hit from on the hard point, you would make sure you hold that direction and center there the entire time. This is also known as filling in the missing lane. Once you're holding this missing lane, usually this enemy can only push out of a doorway or one specific angle, allowing you to always guarantee first shot and ideally killing the enemy. Now, on the opposite end, if you're the one breaking the hard point, now you're in a 40-60 gunfight, which means the enemy knows exactly where you're going to be coming from. However, you have to guess. Is he sitting in the top left corner, bottom left corner, close right corner, top right corner? Is he sitting on the head glitch? There's so many spots the enemy can sit, and that's why we consider this a 40-60 gunfight. Now, to better your centering, I would highly recommend baiting teammates, letting them fly in. You see the red dots, and then based off of that, you know where to center and where to look for the gunfight, or you can at least throw a shoulder, figure out where the enemy is, center at that enemy through the wall like a hacker, so that when you re-challenge, you're gonna ideally get first shot and try and kill them. Let's talk about the 50-50 gunfight. This is when you're usually rotating, and you usually can expect where the enemy will be rotating as well. So if you rotate from one side, the enemy has to rotate from another. Therefore, they're limited on the spots where they can be. But this is more of a 50-50 where they have to guess where you are, you have to guess where they are. And I would just highly recommend taking your time, playing for info, and guaranteeing these kills. It's okay if you decide to sit in a corner. It's okay to sit on a power position. It's okay to just try and play the timings where you're clearing out the map. Regardless, this is a 50-50. It will go either way depending on the timing, depending on the center. So with that first tip, it should drastically help you guys start winning more gunfights, both on defense and on offense. Of course, the rotation, more of a 50-50. But now let's move on to our second tip. The second tip we're going to talk about is Peeker's Advantage. This is going to help you start winning so many more gunfights, but basically, it's when you challenge out of cover, you will be seeing the enemy first before they see you. Therefore, you might be able to shoot them first and then kill them first. This isn't guaranteed every time, but I would say if you're on like a 1 ping and the enemy's on a 70 ping, 50 ping, just because you're flying out of cover first, you will see them first and more than likely kill them. The best way I would say to start abusing this is every single time you are about to push out of cover, you should always slide out of cover or maybe even jump into a slide, or you could just flat out jump. Now, I will say Black Ops 6, jumping is the worst it's ever been. You may want to avoid it altogether, but in future Call of Duties or in past Call of Duties like MW3, jumping out of cover was one of the best things you could do. No matter what, whenever you push out of cover, always have momentum carrying you out of it, because the faster you can see the enemy, the sooner you're going to be able to shoot them, therefore kill them. Not only do you want to slide or jump out of cover when you start pushing up, but even when you see an enemy or get shot at, if you can get back behind cover and then re-challenge or reposition, you will get Peeker's Advantage again. This is why you see a lot of pro players, when an enemy peeks them, they usually get back behind cover, center like a hacker, and then challenge right back out of cover. Or they lay down behind cover, fix their centering, stand back up, and shoot. This abuses Peeker's Advantage, and this will drastically help you in a lot of gunfights. The third tip of this video, and the first spawn tip, is look at your minimap and kill feed every second. Literally every 1 to 2 seconds, look at your kill feed and minimap. It tells you exactly where your teammates are spawning. It tells you exactly where the enemies are spawning, and it tells you how many. Usually I look at the kill feed first. I see how many enemies are dead, and then I look at my minimap, and based on my teammates' positions, this tells me that the enemies are either spawning top right side of the map, top left side of the map, or even they spawn behind me. In this example, I'm rotating to P4 tracks and looking at the kill feed, we have 2 to 3 enemies dead. Based on the minimap, my teammates are before this 25-yard line, therefore the enemies can't spawn behind me, and because I'm pushing up this right side of the map and I see no enemies at all, this means these enemies can only be spawning left, allowing me to get a 3-piece, which after this 3-piece, I look front just in case there was an enemy there. But once again, looking at my minimap, I have a teammate blocking the back spawns. We're all pushed up on the right. Therefore, these enemies are spawning left, and I literally get the exact same 2-piece again. Now, in this example, we kill 3 enemies, and looking at my minimap, my teammate spawns at P2, which tells me they're spawning at SWAT van since I'm pushed up at 18, and I sit here and I spawn trap them. Believe it or not, on this P2, I sit here and I spawn trap them over and over again just because I have my teammates blocking the spawns. I push up the right side of the map, therefore they can only be spawning left. Now, the 4th tip that you can use to reading spawns is literally rewatching pro gameplay, staring in this bottom left of the map, and predicting where every single enemy or teammate is spawning. So right now, we're gonna randomly click somewhere on rewind hardpoint. Number 5 is dead and number 4 is dead, so where will they spawn? I would say that number 4, he's gonna spawn over here, and then number 5, Mamba, he's gonna spawn back over here. And the reason why is just because no one's really pushed up the map to change those spawns, and as we press play, you'll see it here, but we have Mamba spawning in, and then we have Pro Loot spawning in over here. We'll do it again. We randomly click somewhere. We figure out where people are spawning. Ooh, this is a good one. So we have 7, 8, and we have 4 and 1 both dead. White team, they control this right-hand side. Again, number 6 is before the 25-yard line. And not only that, but because number 3 is only about to fight the hard point, I genuinely think 7 and 8 might spawn close. But if they don't spawn close, they're definitely spawning right here. And then for blue team 7 and 8, I can guarantee that if number 5 wins these gunfights and then maybe 6 pushes up or 5 pushes up to right here, that can force spawn them over here, which if number 5 wins this gunfight, I'm going to predict that. So let's go ahead and see. So again, 7 and 8, they all spawn back here. And then look at that. Number 5 wins his gunfight. In fact, pops a 3-piece and forces the spawn over here. So this is one good way you can start learning the spawns, is just by rewatching pro gameplay and just watching the map and just figuring out where everyone's spawning. Now, I will have this updated for Black Ops 7, and I would even say that we can even make it more simple, such as for P1 right here, we have good spawns. If all enemies are dead, we're spawning close. If the enemies are pushing catwalk side, we're going to spawn back trophy. If the enemies are pushing P3 side, we're going to spawn at P2. We also understand that the anchor spot is this entire rectangle here. So if the enemies do get in control of this, they can flip us, which if they flip us, again, if all enemies are dead, we're going to spawn close. If they're pushing catwalk side, we're going to spawn over here at art. If they push out P3 side, we're going to spawn over here at P4. And these are P1 spawns for Vault Hardpoint. Now be aware, every time a new hardpoint pops, there are brand new spawns. As this example right here for P2, these are drastically different spawns compared to P1. So this is the anchor spot. If you don't keep a player here, you will flip spawns. But now, believe it or not, if you actually have a player pushed up here and he's pre-aiming, he's blocking these spawns. What does this mean? If these enemies push up to one of these spots and they pre-aim right here, that's gonna force spawn you guys onto the second spawn right here. And then again, no matter what, if you're playing back here and you push up and then you turn around and pre-aim it, you're blocking it. But for blue team, now if blue team, they get all 4 enemies dead, most of the time they're gonna be spawning here. But if we can push out, create layers and block this spawn, we can spawn the enemy's middle. And then if we spawn the middle, if we block middle, we can end up spawning them all the way back here, deep P3. So rewatch gameplay, go to my Discord, search up spawns on YouTube and just memorize them. Memorizing spawns are so freaking important and they will drastically help you. Again, when Black Ops 7 drops, my entire Discord in the first 2 weeks will have all of these spawns designed for you. The fifth and final tip you've probably heard of, but pros really don't talk about at all, is timings. Now, there's two different types of timings. Let's start off super simple. If you're in a P4 setup like this, these enemies are mostly gonna spawn at pool, and when they spawn at pool, the first thing that they can do is just run forward, just hit front. Now, the second thing that they can do is they could climb up into catwalk, and they could challenge out of the window here, or they could push down and try to hit middle. Now, more than likely, they're just gonna do these two things. However, people do have free will, so they could jump up catwalk, drop out of middle, and then they could hit middle, or they could try to go for like a full flank through vault doors. More than likely, people won't do the red route, but look out for it just in case. And this is now where, let's say you're this player up here, right? This player right here, you'd understand, oh, we have 4 dead. Okay, we have maybe 2 people immediately hitting front. This player middle, boom, kills them. And then we go, wait, we're missing 2 more players. So then you're right here holding a pre-aim, and you probably see this guy in the yellow lane. You easily kill him, and guess what? We're missing 1 final player, which usually that final player might be hitting this route. So if you're number 1, you would turn, hold the pre-aim, and boom, he pushes out of vault doors, you kill him, and he reports you for hacking. When literally all you did was understand where did these enemies spawn, what routes can they hit, and then based off of process elimination, where is that final player, or where are they hitting? Now, of course, this is just for this one spawn over here. Let's say this teammate pushes up and then force spawns the middle. If he force spawns these enemies middle, now it's totally different. The fastest thing they can do is more than likely hit out of con and then push you. Of course, the second thing they can do is they could just straight up go middle and then hit middle. And then the third and final thing they can do is they can hit up catwalk and push out a catwalk. So now the timing's changed. And this is what pro players are constantly doing. They are remembering where players are spawning based off of their spawn, what routes can they hit, and depending on what routes they did or didn't hit, you now use process elimination to guess where they are. Now, this is the main type of timings that pro players really focus on, and this is why you hear them go 3, 2, 1, and then a player pushes out, they kill them. However, the final timing to know about is simply just understanding where the red dot is, right? So let's say you see this red dot right here on your minimap. You would sit there and go, okay, if I'm number 1, the fastest thing that this red dot can do is hit connector. The second fastest thing this red dot can do is hit vault. And then the third and slowest thing this player will probably do is either push out and flank or push out and reflank. So if you're player number 1, you would pre-aim connector. If he's not there, you would pre-aim vault doors. If he's not there, you would then pre-aim your pinch. And if he's not there, maybe this guy's wrapping around. So you look at the last spot, boom, you kill him. He reports you for hacking. I promise you guys, this is a good majority of what pro players are thinking about when they're playing, is just literally knowing where the enemy is 90% of the time, using spawns, process elimination, and of course, looking at your minimap and kill feed. Those right there are 5 tips that will help you guys get better, not only in this game, but it'll also help you going into Black Ops 7. If you guys have any questions, always feel free to hit me. I'm happy to help. Please also check out the coaching and go ahead and comment down below what new video you would like to see next. That'll really help me out. Other than that, thank you guys so much. See you guys next time, and peace.